Good evening, I'm Misha DeBono. A 15-year-old teenager was shot and killed by police in the parking lot of Torrey High School this morning. It happened very early, and investigators say that teen called police asking for a welfare check. Police say that he pulled out a fake gun and he pointed at the officers, and that's when they opened fire. Fox 5's Maria Arcega-Dunn has been following the story from the beginning and has what investigators have revealed so far.
Honestly, I'm just in shock, and I think the rest of the Torrey Pines community feels the same way.
17-year-old Torrey Pines senior and editor of the school paper, Amanda Chen, was in shock when she arrived to find her school campus surrounded by yellow crime scene tape. She says she heard news that a fellow student may have taken his life by prompting police to shoot him.
I don't know what the student was going through. It could be a combination of a lot of different types of pressures, but the school is definitely cliquey. It's big, so I'm not surprised.
This was the scene early Saturday morning. According to San Diego police, the 15-year-old boy called 911 asking officers to conduct a welfare check on a minor, himself, near Torrey Pines High School just before 3:30 in the morning. When officers arrived, he pulled out what investigators say was a semi-automatic BB air gun.
937, one person down. Officers of code 4 need medics.
The teen was hit a number of times and died at Scripps Memorial. Officers were not injured. As the morning progressed, investigators remained at the school gathering evidence. Meanwhile, students began arriving onto campus to take their scheduled SATs.
Compelled to help a child before it gets to this point.
This mother of a Torrey Pines High School junior and alum stood outside the crime tape. She says she's concerned not only about her son, but about those teens who arrived on campus and are hearing news of this shooting.
Something caused this child to feel so much pain, whether it was at school or at home or in extended family or out in the neighborhood with his friends. Who knows where it was coming from? It's important that he had someone to talk to. And obviously, just from speculation, it feels like he didn't have anyone to talk to.
The officers involved were a 28-year veteran of the San Diego Police Force and a 4-year veteran. Both officers, we're told, were wearing body cameras. We're still unclear as to when that video will be released. We still don't know the identity of that 15-year-old who died. Reporting from Torrey Pines High School, Maria Arcega-Dunn, Fox 5 News.
And an internal investigation is underway. The officers have been reassigned to desk duty. That's normal SDPD protocol. Meantime, Superintendent of the San Diego School District is sharing how the district will help students moving forward.
This is heartbreaking news. This is not what you want to wake up to, and so we immediately started working on a plan to support our students, recognizing that Monday morning we're going to have a lot of students who are going to be grieving, and we also want to make sure that we can provide any support possible to the students' families and any families who might need some help as we work through this tragedy.
And this is the second time in a week that local officers have had to use deadly force. One investigator says this morning's shooting shines a spotlight on what has become too frequent a story: people using police as a way out. Fox 5's Robert Burns has that part of the story.
It's really challenging. At 3 in the morning, you really wouldn't think that might happen with a 15-year-old boy. You're thinking somebody's breaking into the school or whatever the case is.
A teen taking his own life, intentionally putting himself in the line of fire. Police experts say it's a trend that for years continues to linger.
After learning then that it's a suicide by cop, the officers, I'm sure, feel horrible, and they're probably second-guessing themselves, but the reality is it's really not much more they could have done because they just don't know.
Retired El Cajon police officer Kevin LaChapelle says the circumstances Saturday morning at Torrey Pines High School put the police at a disadvantage, unknowing of what they were fully going into.
It's really difficult because now that you have people watching cops and different things and they know the protocol of the police, then they're getting very creative, like calling in on themselves and reporting a suspicious subject.
A recent study says 1/3 of officer-involved shootings are attempted suicide by cop, and 80% of the time the suspects either have a loaded or fake gun.
Knowing that the police will come and then pulling out either a real weapon or a simulated weapon, and knowing that obviously the police are going to have to defend themselves, not knowing, and then take the person's life. So suicide by cop is happening more and more frequently, so it's very, very sad.
LaChapelle doesn't believe the officers will see any charges in this, hoping the tragedy, though, opens the discussion for people fighting through problems.
Hopefully we can glean things from this for the future, but again, what I see from my experience, got to get young people talking and having dialogue so that people do not feel trapped and they feel that they can talk about things that are going on.
Robert Burns, Fox 5 News.
And we sent out a breaking news alert about the shooting this morning.